Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of The Gavel, featuring attorney Ana Toledo. Ms. Toledo is the senior attorney and general counsel to Targeted Justice. She has a background in constitutional and environmental law and is an experienced litigator, including 2 cases at the U.S. Supreme Court. And here's Ms. Toledo.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to episode 66 of The Gavel, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news and critical updates to the global community of victims of government weaponization, and alongside important developments of my mission here in DC, my mission for freedom. Today is Friday, August 21st, 2026, and this podcast constitutes a historic and permanent record of our community's fight to expose and end the illegal, unacknowledged special access program that enjoys a security clearance level 35 and is named Ultra, which is used to carry out human experimentation that is forbidden everywhere that the Geneva Convention operates in. Yeah, MK Ultra never ended. I'm your host, Ana Toledo, a Puerto Rican attorney with over 30 years experience litigating constitutional, particularly First Amendment, environmental, and civil rights lawsuits. I relocated to Washington, D.C. with the goal of exposing and shutting down the government weaponization program and lawfare. As you all know, exposure is the key to setting us all free. I fight for the end of the torture that is being perpetrated against 6 million people around the world and more than 300,000 in the United States. We fight for full accountability of the actors responsible and justice and compensation for all. This week has been amazing because everywhere you look, and you will see, I just have some snippets of it, but everywhere you look, it's like the word weaponization, targeting, lawfare, it's in everybody's lips. And that is something really good because it's no longer plausibly deniable. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. But before I go any further, please remember to share, like, and subscribe. I want to make sure everybody is seeing me because the criminals did a little number on me. 3 minutes before I came in, the Rumble was not connected. So I had to redo, I'm like the orchestra woman, but you know how those orchestra musicians that play all the instruments? Well, I had to immediately go to Rumble and redo it. So I just want to make sure everybody is connected from Rumble and YouTube, the comment sections. Please let me know if you're seeing me here. But anyways, I'm going to start with this. And I know that I have put up this verse before, but today is more relevant because this is what, I'm reading the Bible chapter by chapter, book by book. And this one was, part of what I was to read today. And so it's just that verse that goes, "For there is nothing hidden which shall not be manifested. Neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad." And for those of you that have been listening to me here and that have been paying attention, we have to look at all the darkness that has been already exposed, okay? Just as an example, things that no one suspected were going to get exposed. For example, the COVID hoax and the Fauci diaries and all the psyop that was used to control the population, to kill the elderly, and to steal an election with mail-in votes. None of that was supposed to come out. Then just next month is the 25th anniversary of the 9/11 false flag, which, as most of you know, was created to create the police state, the Stasi state, and to pretty much create this program. It was all concocted by the criminal who is rotten in hell, Dick Cheney. And so that is getting exposed too. For everybody, it's already not a controverted fact that Building 7 was imploded, and more truth is going to come out. And Dr. Judy Wood will be vindicated. Some of you might know that right after 9/11 and the investigations that were made, she filed lawsuits in the Southern District of New York saying that the official narrative was wrong, and they completely obliterated her. The judge said, just like Judge Rosenthal did in our TJB Garland, that's fantastical. It's frivolous and fantastical, and imposed severe attorney's fees on her. So I think that just these two examples are preamble of what's coming for us, because our community is paving the way to for the exposure. And okay, I'm not getting any. I see that there's people watching, but I'm not getting any comments. I only got Jill's comment. Can anybody just send me a little comment here to make sure you're watching? Because I don't know what's going on. It's, the criminals are really upset, and I'm just so happy and delighted. Anyways, so I just want to put this in your heart, okay? Because there's a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that are fear-mongering every day, feeding your brain with, negative images and negative thoughts that this is never going to end. And that's not true. So to those people, just don't pay attention to those people saying it's never going to end. I urge you, cancel them. You don't need to listen to people that bring you down, because you have enough of that with the criminals. So why are you going to consume that kind of news? I just really urge you to consume more positive and news that actually build you up. Okay? So that's just because all the darkness will be brought to the light, and that's exactly what we're doing. So envision freedom and how you are going to live to tell your story of targeting to the world, because there's going to be hundreds of people coming with a microphone to ask you, how was it for you? What did you survive? So I ask the Lord to bless the space, particularly because I'm not getting any of your comments, and I just don't know how they're doing it. But it's okay, because I brought you a lot of information to share with you. And I hope, there it is. Now I got them. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for being there. I always count on you, my friend. Thank you. Now I switched from manners to comments, and then I was able to see it. Okay. But before we go any further, please remember, oh God, I have such good clips for you today, to like and share this transmission and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's defeat censorship, which is off the charts, but they cannot silence us. As long as you share these transmissions, they are going to land one day on the desk of the person that can pull the plug on those weapons. It's up to you. It doesn't cost you anything. So for those of you that did not get to see the newsletter, read it or see it, well, here it is for you, the Targeted Justice newsletter that our dear Sean has prepared for us. eBay and 3 former executives settled a civil lawsuit for approximately $55.7 million with David and Ina Steiner, a Massachusetts couple behind coverage that the newsletter about eBay. 2019 harassment and cyber-stalking campaign by former eBay employees and related parties. 7 former eBay workers pleaded guilty and received 7 sentences. eBay itself entered into a deferred prosecution agreement and paid $3 million criminal penalty. This is so huge, it sets a precedent in terms of the value of gang stalking. Write in the comments, no weapon shall prosper against me, because none of these criminals, they have not been able to get away with it.
Every TI should be grateful we have attorney Ana Toledo on our team. Unfortunately, every week we receive hate mail criticizing Targeted Justice and our leadership team. When we presented our case, Targeted Justice versus Garland, at the U.S. Supreme Court, Ana had spent hundreds of hours preparing, editing, correcting, and perfecting our case. Most TIs have no idea about the volume of work required to prepare a case or an appeal. It cost more than $9,000 in printing costs and filing fees to file one appeal for Targeted Justice at the U.S. Supreme Court. Here's what most people don't know. How much does it cost to hire a DC lawyer with 30 years of experience, including experience at the U.S. Supreme Court? According to Grok, it is around $1,800 to $2,200 per hour, and commonly reaching $2,500 or more. The entire TI community should be grateful for the work of Ana Toledo. She could easily walk away and make $1 million per year at a major law firm in DC. Who will you get to replace her?
General Derek O'Malley is the key Pentagon person that controls the funding and security clearances for special access programs and unacknowledged special access programs. As we have mentioned before, all USAPs are grossly illegal because they do not comply with the U.S. Constitution. Even the president does not have access to USAPs because they are above his security clearance. It was designed this way by the deep state. Vice President Rockefeller, under President Gerald Ford, set up this unconstitutional security clearance system in the 1970s.
Calling all digital warriors. Repost, share, and like this video on every social media site that's out there.
Attorney Ana Toledo has moved from the comfort in Texas to the cold streets of Washington, D.C. to act as the representative for all victims of government weaponization. She is not planning on leaving until all TIs are free. However, she needs your help. She needs financial assistance while living in D.C., so please consider donating by going to this link.
We're always looking for some awesome people willing to volunteer their time. Let us know what special skills and unique talents you possess by shooting us an email to tjustice2@proton.me. In the subject line, tag volunteer.
We have over 500 videos of interviews, news, advice, and more on our own Rumble channel.
Appreciate what we do? We are accepting donations and they're all tax deductible. You can either hit this link to do a quick submission of payment or send us a check to the following mailing address. We are a non-profit organization. We have several different items at our store, ranging from clothes, cups, and merchandise. Either get something for yourself or buy a nicer gift for that special someone by hitting this link.
Thanks for taking your time to watch this video. And God bless, and God bless, and God bless.
And God bless our dear Sean for his relentless work in fighting these criminals. Thanks to all of you. I'm seeing your messages. Yeah, hi criminals. I know that you're watching, and no weapon shall prosper against us. But you already know that. So I'm going to start with today. It's just a great day. First of all, last week I told you that former CIA Kevin Shipp is serious about exposing the criminality. Remember, he worked for decades at the CIA, and he's ready to just spill the beans on them. And he is posting every day. He's being very bold and fearless. It's as if he knows something that they're coming down, because that's how I perceive it. Like, he knows that their downfall is inevitable, and he wants to be one of the pioneers, just like inserting the stake at them. So the time he's posted is, the time for cowardice, fear of the shadow government, and putting your head in the sand, hoping someone else will do it, is over. A massive groundswell of Americans are fed up with this government's corruption and perversion. Stand up. And I think this is just fantastic. I have been, we have seen many people that are out there that had a lot of visibility, and I'm going to show you a couple of them more later, that have a lot of visibility that are saying the same message. The intelligence community criminals are coming down. This is a great time. It's a great time to be a TI because we are leading the fight against these criminals. We have not backed down, and this is no moment to back down. So in this context, I just wanted to show you these 2-second clip that I took out of one of Brandon Strack's videos, because I want you to think about the following. When did you even imagine that the words lawfare and targeting would be in everybody's mouth? Listen to this. It seems that the criminals are not liking it.
So speaking of lawfare and being targeted,
I can't believe that they're doing this. Okay, let's try it again.
So speaking of lawfare and being targeted,
you heard that? This is an interview that he was doing with Ellen Shower, and what the reason I clipped that little part out is just to ask yourself, 2 years ago, even a year ago, would you have even fathomed that one of the, he has a huge following and he is targeted, that anybody would be talking about being targeted? No, this is happening. It's already mainstream and there's no going back. Just 2 days ago, he called out Dan Bongino for the shield that he is for the criminality that's still going on. And his video has gone viral. I urge you, it's pretty long, so I'm only going to play a little piece of it, a little part of it. But I urge you to watch it on X, because it's how many of us feel about this administration, that we thought after those January 20th executive orders, for example, the one for the de-weaponization of the government, well, we thought something was going to happen. 1 year later, turns out, no, there was no report. Tulsi did not submit any report about the abuses of the intelligence community, and she had an obligation to do so. And the weaponization today, we have learned that Ed Martin left DOJ because, of course, he was not allowed. He was not even giving a staff. He was not allowed to do what he was put in there to do. So now it's up to us to make things happen. And that's why I hope that all of you watching show up to Targeted Action 2026. And I'm going to talk about that a little later. So our message is getting through to Congress. Journalist Tom O'Neill confirms what we suspected. And I'm not going to do a spoiler. I'm going to have you hear him, because this is huge. And I know that the criminals are throttling this broadcast, but it's okay, because I'll play it again if I have to. Here it goes.
No. Wow. I see what they see, and it's terrifying, and you wouldn't be agnostic.
Okay, I'm going to play it again because the criminals are delaying it, but it doesn't matter. We have patience. I'm going to play it for you again. Here it goes, because you have to listen carefully.
I'm not supposed to tell this, but whatever. The staffer for the congressperson said, if you knew what we know, wow, I see what they see, and it's terrifying, and you wouldn't be agnostic.
I have to thank each and every one of you that has had the courage to write to Representative Luna. And I am going to, I have prepared for you, and I am publishing right now as we speak, a post in Substack. And I'm going to discuss it with you right now because this is very important for all of us. I believe that you need to, I'm going to just send it to you right now. Hold on. Send to everybody right now. I hadn't published it because I didn't want you distracted. I want to discuss it with you right now. I have prepared for you. You know how Ana Paulina Luna asked for more evidence, right? Well, I just had this inspiration today to, let's see if the criminals are going to let it be posts. Discard. Okay. You know how she has asked for additional evidence, right? Well, today I got the inspiration to write this for you, and I want you. I'm going to share the screen here, and I'm going to explain to you why this is so important. Most of you know by now that the roster for the human experimentation and torture program is the 97% of the terrorist screening database that consists of non-investigative subjects. So it is crucial, and this is what I am going to ask that you copy and paste. It is crucial. Let's do this sharing. Let me share this screen with you. That you send this email. You can adapt it to your, to your needs. You not necessarily have to share the same words I use, right? But here's what I want to show you. That in this post, I wrote email address is right there for Miss Luna. Subject line, MK Ultra never ended. Proposed email text. And let me explain to you why this is such an important email you need to send. I'm saying send it tomorrow morning, but if you want to send it tonight, just copy. You don't have to do anything. Copy and paste it. Honorable Representative Luna, I write to you on behalf of hundreds of thousands of victims of the CIA and Acknowledged Special Access Program. I want to bring to your attention that it is not just the law-abiding targeted victims of MK Ultra that suffer, because here there are hundreds of innocent casualties, such as the children of Lindsay Clancy. Those of you that have been following that case, the mother that strangled her three children, and then tried, threw herself off a window and is paralyzed from the waist down. Well, her defense said that she was experiencing command hallucinations. Sounds familiar? And so here I put, it is likely that those hallucinations are nothing but the product of microwave auditory effect. And then I put in there a list. I say, I suggest just copy paste. I did the homework for you. Okay. Copy paste. As a victim of MK Ultra, I ask that you subpoena Director Kash Patel to certify under penalty of perjury if the following people, these are mass murderers that we're hearing voices, appear or have ever appeared in the terrorist screening database and to certify at the time of the shooting. All you have to do is copy. You have there the years and the state. Demand that Mr. Patel certify to the committee under penalty of perjury if DiCarlo Brown, who is the guy that murdered the Ukrainian Irina Saruska in the subway, also appeared in the TSDB at the time, and when was he placed on it? Demand that Mr. Patel certify under penalty of perjury if any of the following women that also murdered their children have ever appeared on the TSDB. For all the murderers listed above, at the time, to provide a complete certified file of their FBI file at the TSDB. This is easy. We're doing the homework for her. But I need you. I need you all to send this email to her. I need her to get 100 of these at least. Subpoena Mr. Patel to certify under a penalty of perjury that the TSDB or the DS, because they wanted to change the name to Terrorist Screening Data Set, because it is my belief that they have some that are whistleblowers, some that are J6ers, some that are COVID, those that will post COVID mandates, those that, they have different subsets. And the TSDB records of Eileen Wuornos at the time that she murdered 7 men. For those of you that follow me on X, that is one of the posts that I put today. And she clearly talks about the voices and the head pressure and all of that. She was a serial killer. Subpoena Mr. Patel to certify under penalty of perjury. Subpoena the Boston University Pathology Department autopsy report for Robert Card. As you remember, he's the main shooter that murdered 13 people. He also was hearing voices, and they did an autopsy on his brain and have it analyzed by an expert pathologist specialized in Havana syndrome. And then just, you can read the rest of it. Anyways, that's the homework that I did for you guys, and most importantly for Ana Paulina Luna. And I am really, really hoping that you take the 5 minutes it takes. I put the email there. I put the subject line. All you have to do is copy and paste. Okay. This is huge. You have to understand that one of the ways we can shut down the program is exposing the FBI criminals and their nice little database, their nice little human experimentation and torture database for everyone. Remember that in this 97%, we not only have Americans, we have the 6 million around the world. Anyway, so there you have it. They told Tom O'Neill that what they have seen is horrific. So they now know. It's criminals. There's no turning back. The lid has been opened. The crack has downed. You better just flee to Argentina. Anyways, so you have all the information that you needed there. Talking about government gangsters. Well, Mr. Patel has been today bragging about having caught a terrorist. And as it turns out, that Thomas Massie called him out because this is what happened. And this is why you all have to be so careful about people you meet, because they could be trying to entrap you. So it's not allowing me to put the cartoon. This is a cartoon that was made by one of the suspendables, Phil Kennedy, he's so funny. There he goes. I stopped the terrorism. So basically, FBI Director Kash Patel announced that federal agents had stopped an alleged ISIS-inspired plot to bomb the New York State Capitol. But Representative Thomas Massie highlighted a deeply troubling feature of the operation. According to the criminal complaint, let me show you what Massie put in there, because Massie, it's pretty troublesome. According to the criminal complaint, here it is. And reporting on the case, FBI operatives supplied the suspect with money to purchase bomb components at Home Depot, and later provided her with an inert explosive device, a handgun, ammunition, and instructions for their use. The government maintains that the woman had independently expressed a desire to kill lawmakers, surveyed potential targets, and sought help constructing a bomb. Nevertheless, the FBI did far more than merely observe her. It actively facilitated crucial steps of the supposed plot before arresting her. They gave her the guns, the ammunition, the inert explosive device. And if that is not entrapment, I don't know what is. They use the stupid, pathetic, confidential human sources that chase us around and take pictures. Yeah, that's the same idiots that they use for this operation. So Thomas Massie called her out. We're not saying she didn't have an intent, but you can have an intent in your heart to do something, but you don't carry it out. So terrorism defendant Jessica Bowie was then apparently, she talked to the police, to the FBI, without an attorney present. So Massey's criticism raises the important question: did the FBI actually prevent an act of terrorism that would have otherwise occurred, or did its informant, the rodents, the mice, confidential human sources, manufacture and enable a prosecutable conspiracy by supplying the money, the weapons, the equipment, and operational assistance needed to carry it out? That distinction should be investigated through disclosure of the informant's communications and the complete operational record. The episode also reinforces demands for full transparency concerning the pipe bombs planes near the Republican and national headquarters on January 5th, that Steve Baker has been doing an incredible job of exposing how they want to frame this young, Black, autistic man as a culprit when all the evidence proves that he's not the pipe bomber. Anyways, she apparently waived her right not to speak to federal government. I really doubt that, because that's just, I don't believe it. So Patel continues touting that he was victorious about it. And in the meantime, he doesn't remove the non-terrorists, the law-abiding citizens and non-terrorists from a terrorist list where they're subjected to torture. So there you have it. He is incompetent as it gets, or compromised. We don't know which one it is. But in this context, I will play for you the other video from Strzok when he was calling out Dan Bongino for, this is how loser Dan Bongino is. He had already blocked Brandon, and he unblocked him in order to go make a stupid post on his timeline. And then he immediately blocked him again so that Brandon could not. Can you think of somebody so much of a loser so that Brandon could not reply to him again, but then Brandon did something majestic, which is, he said, oh, really? Well, he did his own video. And this is just a short extract that I took from his video, because it's a summary of how many of us feel towards this administration that promised action against government weaponization and has not done much. Here it goes. Okay, the criminals are really, really angry because I'm seeing they're not allowing me to put it on the stage. Is it here? I'm sorry. There it is. Let me play that for you. Criminals are out of control today, and I love it. I love it because this is a little podcast of a little Puerto Rican woman in a little corner of DC, and look how worried they are about me. Is that amazing or what? These losers. Okay, listen to
Feelings
this.
towards you would be described using words like deceived, duped, betrayed, appalled, maybe even sickened or revolted, and definitely disillusioned.
Yeah, that's the summary, because Dan Bongino said, oh, are you offended that I didn't call you for my show or whatever? I didn't have you on my show. He's like, no, I'm revolted. I'm offended. I am disillusioned. And that's exactly how we feel. That more than a year and a half into this administration, and weaponization is still strong. The proof is in the pudding. Look how they are throttling my transmission. The CIA criminals that should have already been fired a long time ago, because the Denver domestic headquarters under the satanic airport in Denver are an illegal operation under Executive Order 12333, and you can take that to the bank. Speaking of which, I want to do here an interruption regarding banks. It turns out that the deep state banks are trying to take your money, it seems. They are now demanding, Chase Bank is demanding voice recognition in order for you to carry out transactions. I totally do not recommend that. I recommend, if you're in the United States, this is what you can do. You can ask Grok, can you tell me what banks, like let's say you live in Missouri, what banks only have branches in Missouri? Boom. And go, they might have one branches. Go open an account there. Even if it doesn't have the conveniences of a big bank, but at least the deep state will not be controlling them. That's just the free targeted justice advice for the day. And actually, that came from the Lighthouse. I have to give him credit for that because they are trying to do that to him. So we have that. This is a little good news, but it's not as good news as like I thought it was. A Texas appellate court overturned an Alex Jones, Sandy Hook trial verdict. But beware, because I was thinking it was, many of you can remember that this is a trial that he was subjected to as part of his reporting on the Sandy Hook event. And let me just refresh your memory here.
Pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
Well, you mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
So that one was in the Connecticut trial. What I didn't know is that there was also a Texas trial. And so in the Texas trial, the Texas Court of Appeals reduced, an unanimous panel reduced the punitive award of $45.2 million to $1.5 million under Texas statutory limits, leaving the total judgment that the actual damages were originally 4.1 million, leaving them at 5.6 million, which is, much better than the 50-something million. However, it did not, this was the Texas, there were two cases. It was not the Connecticut case where he was slapped with a 1.29 billion judgment that the United States Supreme Court refused to review. So yeah, it's a little relief, but most important, I think that it, from the law firm perspective, it demonstrates that things are changing, that the criminals don't have all this massive control as they used to have. And so that is a good thing, that he's not going to stop fighting. And in the other Connecticut case, some miracle might happen because some information has been coming out that supposedly an insider of InfoWars was having direct communications with plaintiffs' attorneys, and that was misconduct that could technically, on grounds of fraud, could make the other case be annulled judgment. However, it's a very difficult burden, and I don't know if he'll meet it, particularly in such a liberal jurisdiction as Connecticut. However, you can be certain he's never going to stop fighting for justice. So in this context, I need to tell you and remind you that if you haven't filed your Privacy Act request, and let's remove from your dialogue the FOIA verbiage, because it's Privacy Act. Under Privacy Act, you have much much more rights than a FOIA. The FOIA is about a third party. The Privacy Act is all the records that the agency has on you. The FBI and DHS are giving everybody the runaround, and Jill has adeptly learned how to handle these criminals. So remember her email, jilltj@proton.me, if you need assistance, whether it be with drafting and sending your Privacy Act request or your appeal. Because even though for people in the United States, the appeal is not mandatory, we're trying to eliminate that argument from them, because they're going to try to raise that argument that you have to appeal. No, you don't have to appeal anything in the administrative field when it's an act of futility, when you know they're not going to do anything. And besides, the law doesn't require it, nor does the case law. Anyways, the tide is turning. Well, this is all about tiding the turn against those protected criminals. And I just want to show you, this is very short, because I want to emphasize to you how, regardless of political affiliation, my political party and support anybody that shuts down this program. But somebody that is like this man here, a cheerleader to the CIA, we will not support. And I'm asking every single TI in Arkansas to go promote the opposing candidate. As it turns out, that we know that Cronin lost his primary, and he was one of in the intelligence committee protecting the CIA criminals. So vengeance is not ours, it's God's. And people are waking up to the criminality of Tom Cotton of Arkansas, the CIA's cheerleader, as per former CIA Mr. Erdman. He's the one that called him the CIA cheerleader. He's currently trailing Democratic Haley Schaffner in Arkansas. And the woman that did this post, she says, we don't want a communist Democrat, but efforts to block Trump and gaveling pro forma sessions, it's just not good. My objection against Tom Cotton is that he is a defender of the criminals, and he chairs the select intelligence committee, which is the one that followed the church committee. That's why this man needs to lose the election. So everyone in Arkansas, get your parents, get your brother, your sister, your friends, your relatives, everybody to vote him out of office. He needs to be out, and we need to do a party when he loses the election this November. We really need to party hard on that, because he has been doing the protection of the intelligence community and the CIA criminals. Now, talking about trying to expose the criminals, there are people with a voice that are no longer afraid to sound the alarm. And I am talking about Joe Kent, that, as many of you know, he left ODNI because he did not agree with the conclusion that Iran was a threat to the United States. Well, now he is saying the quiet part out loud. He was in the Jimmy Dore show, and he had this to say when the Jimmy Dore asked him if the intelligence community doesn't work for the president, who do they work for? And this was.
But there is a protective rung, a deep state, whatever you want to call it, that from everything that we can tell, they don't report to the president. And
the criminals are throttling. I don't know what you're seeing on your end, but on my end, they are really making it very slow. I know I need to get an internet connection that is cable, because right now what I have is Wi-Fi. But I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. But here it goes for you. Let me show you.
Well, that's a great question. And I would say by and large, Most people in the IC, good folks, patriots, they want to keep America safe. But there is a protective rung, a deep state, whatever you want to call it, that from everything that we can tell, they don't report to the president and they don't serve the interest of the American people. By and large, they are protecting themselves and they are trying to make sure that their organizations or individual agencies are never audited, are never scrutinized, and that retain control over what they do. One of the key things I think that we saw from the Epstein files, a little preview that we got, was that there does appear to be, something that operates outside of, most world governments that is active. And unfortunately, I don't think we've done a good enough job going after a lot of the sacred cows within the IC to have declassification and to have true transparency for the American people. So this is a major issue. And, people will say, hey, it's a crazy conspiracy, but that whole, terminology and that attack was pioneered by the intelligence community to make sure that there were no investigations.
Okay, now I'm going to call him out because I have met Mr. Kent twice, and I'm saying good for him that now he's willing to go after these sacred cows. But when he had the opportunity to expose what the criminals at the CIA were doing, he didn't do so. I spoke to him while he was in office. I spoke to him personally in Congress, and I saw him at a Feds for Freedom event. And he still he has a very powerful voice, so let's hope that he actually exposes what I know that he must know, because I did tell him that little girls were being tortured with V2K. And his face was one of powerlessness, but at least maybe that'll change. Now, this is a PSA I have to share with you, because many of us have cameras this is in our homes. And we thought that please stay till the end, because I have really good information. Even if the video is bad quality because the criminals are throttling it, I have some very important information to share with you. So please don't go like this information about these cameras. So it turns out that they can be, if you connect them to the internet. Well, let me just play this guy, and then I will show you. I will tell you why it's so important. If they let me, because of course we don't know here what's going on. Here it goes.
Idea that there's a private company that has this as their business model, offering
there's
its
a sound and no image
to any camera connected to the internet. Like, we are not in Kansas anymore. This is somebody with a website advertising a future dystopia that is a subscription service.
Saying get on board first.
Right. And you
want to be the top of our dystopian pyramid scheme.
I don't want to live in a world where a person can be erased and the people who did the erasing run no risk because they have a subscription to a service that allows their crime to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's really what this is.
There you have it. This man, he has a podcast, and I had not come across him yet. His name is Brett Weinstein, evolutionary biologist and Dark Horse podcast host. Brett Weinstein warns that the capabilities attributed to Israeli cyber intelligence company Toka made Flock Safety's controversial license plate camera network look like the shallow end of the freaking pool. While Flock primarily collects searchable vehicle images and location data, Toka advertises that it calls frictionless surveillance, according to a 2022 Haaretz investigation based on internal company materials. Their technology can identify internet connected cameras within a designated area remotely access their live feeds and alter them. So for those of you that have Reolink cameras, it's time to disconnect them. You think they're safe? And they will delete the previously recorded image and conceal evidence that changes were made. The company was co-founded by former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, former Israeli military cyber chief Yaron Rosen. There you have a very crafty team. So the potential for abuse is staggering. The technology is capable of covertly rewriting camera footage that could be, listen to this, theoretically used to frame people or conceal government misconduct, as it is the perps that come into your house. So if you have one of these cameras, just put the SD card on it and do not connect to the internet. It doesn't matter what camera is. If it's connected to the internet, the government criminals can access and alter them. So that was my second PSA of the night. And I just want to do some housekeeping. We really need to fight, to combat the censorship. One of our biggest accounts that is being censored is Dr. Len Bear, because he is talking a topic that nobody in the government wants him to talk about, which is Havana syndrome and how civilians are victims of it. So I'm asking you to share his post. And as you know, TikTok prohibited our account. They canceled our account. So for those of you that have TikTok, please become a digital warrior. Take our post and Dr. Len Bear's post and put them there, because we need to spread the word. We need to spread the word in Facebook. We need to spread the word everywhere. Civilians are victims of Havana syndrome, and it is something that needs to be addressed and that needs to be looked at. The CDC needs to address it. So please follow, share, and just post everywhere Dr. Len Bear's material and posts. Now, let's go now for the good thing, which is our event for September 14th. I already have 98 people that have signed up, but only the equivalent of very, very little, like 19, have actually paid. We have a team of volunteers that is planning an amazing 3 days for you, packed with activities. And I want to give a shout out to Steven Arroyo. He is setting, for those of you that would like to do a camp, he is trying to set up a camping area among TIs. Of course, some will have to stay behind and watch over and I guess take turns. So I want to share with you the link to, this is his message, Stephen. Yo, who's going to the targeted rally in Washington, D.C.? I'm thinking about bringing my tent and camping there a few nights. We'll save more than the hotels. Let me know. I think I can arrange a small group of TIs to be at a nice camp slot where we can hang out, talk about operations, and cook over a fire pit. Let me know if you're down with this. And he's looking for the location in Greenbelt Park. I want us to get locations side by side, not opposite sides of the park, so we can mingle and watch each other's back out there. He is in a conversation with the people attending. So I really urge you, I'm going to share with you his Facebook link so that you follow him and you contact him if this is something that you think would be good for you, you'd be amenable to. I think it'd be a lot of fun if the criminals allow me to paste the link in here, because I don't know that they're allowing me. There we go. The criminals today are so nervous, and I just love it. Like 2 nights ago, they didn't let me sleep, attacking me so hard. And I'm just so thrilled because I don't know what I did, but I know I made them really angry. So, and that's always a win. So we need for you to schedule your appointments in the afternoons of Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, not on Monday, because Monday at 3, we're doing the registration and we're planning a really great event for you. We're putting all our love and effort into it. Jill is taking care of the permits, and we're working on the permits on the various locations. I need volunteers. I need those of you that are inspired. Not only will you discard your V2K message and say, no, it's dangerous, because we have already proven twice that it's not just a safe event, but also DC is safe, all the police and all the National Guard around. And also people love meeting such a huge group of TI. Just imagine going to a party where everybody's a TI and you can freely talk to them without being judged like you're crazy. It's just a priceless moment. So I'm going to be working with the ride share people. We have a lot of people asking for rides, and the official email is targetedaction2026@proton.me. We welcome everybody from all organizations. Do not think that because your organization is not sponsoring it, you're not welcome. On the contrary, we are welcome everyone, because is a TI and everyone wants to be. And there is absolutely no reason for you to not show up, even if you are, you are very active on another organization. So please make a huge effort to come, because it's we have volunteers like Steven that are facilitating it for you. So there's no excuse. Like my dad would say, you have no excuse. I understand that some people may not be able to do it, but here's an opportunity to contact Steven and do it. If you do the ride share, I know that many of you know people, for example, the Colorado people, they drove to DC for the MK Ultra hearings. So just do not forget that where there's 2 or more gathered in my name, I shall be there at noon Eastern time. Jim is helping us remind you of the guided meditation for 5 minutes, the guided prayer, not the guided meditation, the meditation or the prayer for 5 minutes. Just targeting program is over. I am free now. I am free now. And just make an effort to follow him at Real Coffee Jim on X, or set the alarm in your phone. It's worth it. Just 5 minutes. Doesn't cost you anything. And the collective intention of everybody can make a huge difference. Now, finally, I want to thank Ortain, who has been helping us with the banners. We are going to be making banners. I need a lot of volunteers. So if you want to help us make this event the success, the last targeted action, think of it. Are you going to miss it? Are you going to miss the last targeted action ever? I wouldn't for anything. So not only show up, but please write to Targeted Action 2020 at proton.me if you want to be a group leader, if you want to volunteer holding the banners, if you have already scheduled or are in the process of scheduling your appointment. Give us your feedback. We are working for you to make it unforgettable and just memorable, priceless. And we are counting on you to just show up and demand freedom. Depending on the amount of people that sign up is some of the activities that we want to carry out. So that's why I am really encouraging all of you to show up if you can. I can understand. And I really urge you to not be writing to people like Steven that are doing a real effort. Oh, I can't go because I have all these medications. No, nobody wants to hear that. If you can't go, just keep it to yourself. You can say to Steven, I commend you, Steven. This is exactly what shut down a criminal program is about. Rolling up your sleeves and taking the initiative. I didn't tell him to do this. He did it on his own initiative. And I have to just give him a huge, huge shout out. So anyways, thank you for being here. I certainly hope that next week I won't have as much problem with the internet because I have a little backup plan, which of course I'm not saying because of the criminals, but I really thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. And I really look forward to having you next week here in the same day and the same time, Friday, 8 p.m. Thank you, everybody, and blessings to you all. Yeah, we're winning. Definitely, we're winning.